Let's take a quick look at the Reflect Units Values option in the efficient cause analysis for paired orderings. Now for this video, let's use the dosage and heart attack data. So recall that for these contrived data, we have dosages of some medicine, and that or those orderings will be set up, or you can see they're entered here as the efficient cause orderings. And then we have the number of heart attacks recorded for this large sample size set up as the effect ordering. So we have 20 weeks worth of data here. So before we take a look at these different options, let's look at the ordinal patterns. Now I'm going to look at the ordinal patterns because we're looking at the ordinal analysis here. We've got the ordinal option selected rather. So we're going to look at the relative changes in the dosage and heart attack orderings across time. So let's select the ordinal patterns button, and let's go ahead and magnify this a little bit just so we can see clearly what's going on. And let's take a look at these 20 weeks worth of data. Now here you see that the cause is the red line, and that's arranged from lowest to highest here on the left, and on the right from lowest to highest. That's the effect. And you can see we have the dosages across the top 20 weeks and the heart attacks 20 weeks across the bottom. So the red line is the cause, and as we see from week 1 to week 2, the cause and effect both increase, they keep increasing, and then there's a little bit of a mismatch here, but overall we see that as the cause increases, the effect increases, and then also as the cause decreases, the effect decreases. So we can see that pretty clearly here visually by looking at how the red and blue lines line up. Now we can get a PCC index for that, and it's 83.16%, a very high PCC, very low chance value here as well. But now suppose we expect an inverse relationship between the cause and effect ordering. So here I have another set of contrived observations labeled opposite pattern. And what we see is quite the opposite here. So notice for the red, the cause line, as it increases, the blue line decreases, and then vice versa, as the red line decreases, the blue line increases. And that's generally the case across the entire pattern, although we see some places where they can commonly increase or decrease. So we look at the PCC here, and now we're down to 26.84% because the patterns are essentially opposite. And we see the chance value here is extremely high at 0.997. So with this inverse relationship then, we need to reflect either the cause or the effect. So let's go back to the option then, and notice we can reflect either the cause or the effect. It's arbitrary really which of these you choose. Let's go ahead and look at the cause. So we will reflect the cause. Go to the ordinal patterns. Again, I'll just magnify a little bit since it resets it. And let's look at that opposite pattern. So now notice the cause is going lowest to highest this way, whereas the effect is going lowest to highest this way. So I have indeed reflected the cause. And now you can see the lines match up really nicely across most of the 20 weeks in terms of their concomitant changes. And we see the PCC now is up to 72.11% with a nice low chance value. Now let's go back and reflect the effect and see what happens. And again, just have to magnify it back up a little bit, and let's look at that opposite pattern. And notice the cause now is lowest to highest this way, whereas the effect is lowest to highest going this way. So I've reflected the effect. But again, we see that the lines match up nicely with the exact same PCC as we'd expect, 72.11%, and a nice low chance value as well at 0.003. So if you have these inverse types of relationships, or if you're expecting an inverse relationship between the cause and effect orderings, then you are going to need to reflect either the cause or the effect prior to running the analysis.